Oh, wow.
What?
I can't believe the 2 episodes in a row.
Come on. Giddy up, Jingle Horse.
Short hair.
And now he has 4 horses.
Thank you to HUEL for sponsoring this video. More on them in just a bit. Citizens of Rejectoros, we are here to watch Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, episode dose today, after a very fun episode uno. Michael Tessler, how you feeling?
I'm Michael.
Yes, you are. That all you got? I mean, you're a wordsmith. John, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I missed the swords. This is the #1 thing I've been thinking about since last week, so I'm actually immensely excited to continue.
That's crazy, because you had 3 deaths in the family.
That's right. But this overshadowed them all with coziness.
Stop thinking about it. It's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Shows where your priorities are
You
at.
know.
Anyway, guys, thanks for being here.
How are you?
How are you, G?
Oh, dude, I'm doing splendacular. Let's watch episode 2, guys.
What a quaint little
You
cottage.
might not remember him, but
Stay there. I'm coming back.
he was a true knight
Oh, wow.
What?
Sure
different.
was.
than other men.
It's huge.
Yours
He
doesn't
had
look
a
like that?
peaceful nature
God.
and humble. A veteran of 100 wars, but an enemy to none.
I can't believe the 2 episodes in a row.
Probably because it's from a child's perspective.
Ow.
He never complained, even as he was dying. He just got on with it.
I love the depiction of him so much.
He meant to be a benefit to those around him.
So Robin Hood and Little John.
It did not make him rich. He held no lands, sired no children.
Oh, boy.
I'll make my love and the rest in the shade. I-ho! Come on, John!
He wanted for nothing but the open air and a fire to warm his feet at.
So folksy.
Skills as warrior were unsung, but he had a chin cut from granite, and he was a dogged fighter.
I wonder what their prep together
He
was
kept
like.
on coming.
That's cool. They keep doing these like Wes Anderson like master frame shots.
When you really feel the depth of the landscape.
Point of my blade.
House Florin, Ser Arlen took service in your guard when your lord father lost his sight.
Oh.
House Hayford, Ser Arlen fought side by side with your brothers at the Redgrass. His squire, his
is
own nephew, was killed in the battle.
Is he pleading to people right now?
Yeah.
Trying to get.
House Tyrell, Ser Arlen
Yeah.
often spoke of his time in your service as his very finest.
Come on.
He said it was you, my lord, who told him that a hedge knight was the bridge between lords and the small folk.
I say a lot of shit, son.
I know him not, man.
Was he a shit night?
It was not a shit night.
He can't have been a very good one if no one remembers him.
Pick up your feet, come on.
Giddy up, Jingle Horse.
This is undignified, sir.
So hie back to camp and leave me be if it please you.
I would not leave you, sir. Not while you must suffer your master dying over and over again.
Oof.
Though it does not seem like these lords are even listening to you.
Nothing I can do about that.
You are a knight of the realm, sir. You can say and we should ride into the list, call out Longthorn Tyrell, and turn his arsehole into a lance hole.
Yeah, Lance. Bars,
Why do you
kid.
treat these royal lapdogs like they're your betters?
They are my betters. You're too brazen for your own good. Ser Arlen was a great knight. Someone will remember him.
Eggs and brazen.
They'll remember him through you.
Hey, who's come?
Can't you see the banner to join?
Me, whenever anybody asks me a question.
Oh,
The
shit.
Targaryens.
Get yourself a
Perhaps I
t-shirt at
should go back, sir. Check on the
rejectationshop.com.
camp and make sure no thieves have been nosing about.
Hi, I have an idea.
Gonna have your sword to run people off with,
Eh,
or a mace.
You have a knife, that's enough. You best be here when I come back. Rob me, and I'll hunt you down with dogs.
You don't have dogs!
I'll get some.
Where?
Release the hounds.
The first hound.
Yeah.
Firstborn son of King Darren the Good,
Garen the Good.
hand of the king and heir to the
gotta be
Iron
pretty nice
Throne,
if your name
and
is the
his brother
Good.
Birka.
My lord of
And his brother.
My daughter, Gwen.
Boy, stop gaping. Sit my horse.
I'm not a stable boy, my lord.
Not clever enough.
Oh, boy. Short hair.
Well, if you can't manage horses, then fetch me some wine and a pretty wench.
You don't understand.
My lord pardons, I'm no serving man either. I have the honor to be a knight.
Oh.
Knighthood has fallen on sad days.
The horse is walking off.
Oh!
Now, come on.
Oh, this poor guy.
Damn.
It's okay.
You are smart enough to be a stable boy.
And now he has 4 horses.
She just got a bit excited, that's all.
He meant the princeling, not the palfrey.
White cloaks.
Excuse me.
Honestly, like that, sometimes stuff happens. I'm like, I don't even remember if it's in the book or not.
I'm Sir Roland Craycole, and this is my sworn brother, Sir Donald of Duskendale.
Ooh, Duskendale.
Duskendale.
Do you ride your horse
Look
into
at
battle, or
them.
does it ride you?
Forget Sir Roland. It's not often he must look up. He casts his eyes down.
Yes, yes, I'm quite the rascal. Now tell me, Sir Duncan, is there a proper place to shit around here?
Not really.
Find you a tree.
Yeah, I got a great shitting tree.
A man of such birth has never deigned to disturb his arsehole with hay.
He'll deign before the week is out, I'd wager.
Where are you from, man? You don't smell house bread.
No place, really.
I know it.
Lee's a literal outsider in this shot.
You're not a Darkland of Duskendale.
We were crabbers of Duskendale. Far back as it goes.
Hence my nautical armor.
The son of a crabber came to have the honor of being a knight in the Kingsguard.
Same way we became crabbers.
By breaking a few legs and claws.
Are you Baelor Targaryen?
No.
Then would you move the fuck out of the way?
Yeah.
I have to say, I love the old style white cloak armor. It's fun seeing how they're adapting this era.
Spring rains have swollen many of our streams. Perhaps the young princes have just been delayed.
Aeron has done this before. You should not have commanded him to enter the lists.
Uh-oh.
The prince's sons are missing.
Oh.
Probably dead.
They sure have.
Wars have started for less. You're big and stupid.
What?
Honestly, nice.
They have only been missing a day. No doubt Sir Roland will turn him up and Aegon along with him.
When the tourney is over, perhaps.
Yeah.
Aeron belongs on a tourney field no more than Ares or Rhaegal.
By which you mean it's sooner or later.
That is not what I said.
Ugh.
You. Who are you? What do you mean by spying on us? Show yourself.
Dude, that one guy's chain is crazy.
I have asked Sir Manfred Dondarrion to vouch for me so that I might enter the lists, but he has refused to do so.
Who? We are the intruders here, brother. Come closer, sir.
They say they know not Ser Arlen of Pennytree, but he served them. I swear it. I have his sword and shield.
Sword and shield do not make a knight. Unless you have better proof to support what you say.
Me looking for someone to laugh at my joke?
Please clap.
It was many years ago. You may have forgotten.
Ser Arlen of Pennytree. He never won a tourney that I know.
Had a huge...
But he never shamed himself either.
No, he didn't.
He overthrew Lord Stokeworth in the melee at King's Landing. And years before, he unhorsed the Grey Lion himself.
He told me of that many a time.
Then you will recall the Grey
do
Lion's
remember him.
true name, I have no doubt.
Oh, come on.
You know, remember what he told you.
Sir Daemon Lannister,
Ooh.
the Grey Lion. He's Lord of Casterly Rock now.
So he is.
Dang, Damon.
And enters the lists upon the morrow.
How can you possibly remember some hedge knight who chanced to unhorse Daemon Lannister 16 years ago?
I make it a practice to learn all I can of my foes.
And why would you deign to joust with a hedge knight?
It was many years past at Storm's End.
That's why he's a good hand.
Lord Baratheon held a hastilude to celebrate the birth of grandson. The lots made Ser Arlen my opponent in the first tilt. We broke 4 lances before I finally unhorsed him.
It was 7.
Wasn't even there. But he remembers correctly.
Tales grow in the telling, I know. Do not think ill of your old master, but it was 4 lances only, I fear.
As you say, Your Grace, it was 4. I do apologise. The old man, Sir Arlen, he used to say that I was thick as a castle wall and slow as an oryx.
No harm was done, sir. Rise.
So dear.
You gave him back his horse and armour and took no ransom. Sir Arlen often told me that you were the soul of chivalry. And that one day the 7 kingdoms would be safe in your hands.
For many years yet, I pray.
The king should...
You wish to enter the lists.
This guy's so over this.
The decision rests with the master of the games, but I see no reason to deny you.
As you say, my lord.
Your Grace,
Very well, sir. You are grateful now.
You must forgive my brother, sir. His sons went astray on the way here, and he fears for them.
You gotta go find
trust
him.
they will not be found dead.
Bro.
Comforting words.
You are not of Ser Arlen's blood.
No, I am not.
By law, only a true-born son is entitled to inherit a knight's arms. You must needs find a new device, sir.
Oh.
A sigil of your own.
I will.
Ah, love it. They made a moment
Thank
of
you
that.
again, Your Grace. I will fight bravely. You'll see.
Oh, I'm gonna find those kids too.
How did you do the fire tricks? Is it pollen?
We collected on the way.
Huh?
I've never seen
Every
such
time he's
dry
about to
puppets.
talk.
Did you make them yourself?
My uncle builds them. I paint.
Could you paint something for me?
Oh,
A sigil?
I have the coin to pay to paint something over the chalice.
What do you want?
I don't actually know.
huh?
Sorry, you must think me a fool.
All men are fools. All men are knights.
Where a woman is concerned.
That ill-handled, the puppet girl. It didn't feel well-handled.
She is painting your shield.
That's a fun frame.
For pay.
You are both gigantic.
This is true.
Is that promising?
It's commonality.
Commonality.
It's cool. Close-ups make them feel equal.
Yes, Hedge Knight, you.
He remembers him. That's excellent.
I need muscle. Will you heed my call to
Good.
When the Lord Paramount of the Stormlands calls, you're magic.
Yeah, dude, just lean back. I'll be back, brosif.
Let's go.
Nice.
How fun.
I need some armor on the morrow. Gorget greaves and great helm. You jousting or working?
Oh.
Both, perhaps. You're a big one. My armor bigger.
So that means you could do it.
Good steel. Strong and plain. I make helms that look like helms, not winged pigs and fancy foreign fruit.
Call him
I'll
out.
serve you better if you take a lance in the face. That's all I want.
Yeah.
A lance in the face.
800 stack, if I'm feeling kindly. 800?
Hey, he don't have that.
I could make use of the metal. If it's not too rusted, I'll take it and armor you for
Oh.
600. I only have 2 stags. Buys you a day.
Whew.
You'll get it all back, I swear. I mean to be a champion here. Do you know?
Do ya?
And the others all came just to cheer you on.
Definitely.
Is there any measure of a fool I fail to meet? If I win, I'll come back and buy you again.
Oh.
See, she has some oats tonight. Yeah.
That's nice.
And an apple too.
Oh.
You know the old man lived nigh on 60 years and was never a champion.
Bugger my cider.
If I could call myself a champion of Ashford Meadow, even for an hour, maybe some great house might take me into its service.
Some great house.
Perhaps even House Targaryen.
You suppose the Dragon House employs many hedge knights, sir?
Enough of that. I'll have you know Sir Donald of the Kingsguard is but the son of a crabber.
Sir Donald of Duskendale.
Yep.
His father owns half the crabbing fleets in Westeros.
What? How would you know?
I like fishing.
Do you now? Whoa. Whoa.
House Tully used to be crazy.
So that's where Ozzy Osbourne got that.
Woo.
Helmet! Hey, who's that?
Prince Valar, Baelor's son.
Ooh.
Second in line to the throne.
He's the favourite, I'd wager.
I'll take that bet, sir.
Lord Ashford Fox's sheep!
Ouch. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Damn. Nice.
Sir, put me down, sir.
Oh, shit. Why? It's like when the NASCAR's piled. Whoa.
Nice recovery.
Oh, my God. Whipping past the camera.
Cool.
I bet that cape was added later.
Uh-oh, don't have a panic attack about the future just yet, man.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh.
Die! Do you yield, Blackfire? Ah, yeah! Splendid did riding tonight. The part with the fish was disgusting.
Oh my god.
Something the matter, sir?
Do great knights live in the hedges and die by the side of a muddy road? I think not. Ser Arlen wasn't gifted with sword or lance. He drank and he whored. He was a hard man to know.
Way to put that.
He had no friends either. He lived nigh on 60 years and never was a champion. What chance do I have, truly? But he was good to me.
Yeah, he's like Rocky Balboa.
I wasn't his family, but he kept me like we were. He raised me to be an honourable man.
Clearly.
All these noble lords can't even remember his name. His name was Ser Arlen of Pennytree, and I am his legacy. On the morrow, we will show them what his hand has wrought.
Hey. Oh my.
Hell yeah. Oh, end it.
Damn. Oh, I cannot
That's
wait for
cool.
the morrow. Give me the morrow.
So George R.R. Martin was like actually involved with the creation of this show, huh?
Big time. This was very, very important to him. And he said he would only make it if he felt that he was done with the Hedge Knight series in its entirety.
All right.
So that is that the case with the?
It's George R.R. Martin,
books?
so we never quite know.
You never get that last book.
All right. Well, Prepper, thanks for editing this down. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Can't say the C word on YouTube. Hopefully you caught them all. Hello, Reject. It is now 2026, and I've been thinking a lot about what health actually means to me right now, and I'm sure a lot of you are too. Last year, I made a big deal about dropping like 50 pounds, all because I wanted to get those dang photos, and afterwards I was going to go back to like whatever lifestyle I wanted. And you know how it goes. Life gets stressful. Food is my main outlet, especially Saturday nights. When I say binge, I mean I binge. It's a real. Some people think like I'm doing that exaggerating thing, but it's not. It's bad. Eating just crap until I fall asleep and then waking up the next day filled with regret and trying to walk it all off over the course of 2 days. So instead of going more extreme this year, I focused on something much more sustainable, a lifestyle I can actually maintain. And a big part of when I felt my best was when I was using a lot of this stuff like the HUELs and everything. Brought a lot from home just for today's video. I even grabbed the variety pack so I could have more of these like different flavors. I really like this chocolate peanut butter one. So you're literally looking at my rotation. I got the HUEL ready to drink. I got the bottles that I bring here at the office ready to go. I got the Black Edition powder. I got like a wide variety of flavors, and these are my go-tos. And I am vegetarian and allergic to dairy, so I'm actually really happy that this is all plant-based, created by registered nutritionists, affordable per serving, and it removes decision fatigue when I'm on the go, in a rush, or when stress fatigue is really high. So if you're like me and you want something consistent without overthinking it, check out HUEL using the link and the QR code on screen. You can use my code REJECTS for 15% off orders over $50, new customers only, minimum spend required. And yes, this is an ad. However, this is something I have genuinely come back to. So thank you, HUEL, for sponsoring this video. Because sometimes they sneak past you.
That was another.
I can't say that either. Can't say that either.
A lot of C words you cannot say.
Yeah.
You say? Sorry.
This is a test of the automated curse word system.
Well, crud.
If you see this video, we made it.
Well, guys, also the full reaction watch phone where you get a sync up with your own copy, that is available for our Royal Rejects. We call them our patrons. So thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon and help offset copyright stuff, like how we get demonetized sometimes for 1 second words. It's kind of crazy. So thank you for supporting us. And you can also get some teas at our rejectnationshop.com. Barcode right here on screen. All right, Michael, how you feeling, man?
I really love this show.
Yeah, elaborate a little more. Why?
Well, for one, it is so nice to just not be worried about the entire state of the world of Westeros and to just be on this jaunty little adventure. And I think Sir Duncan is just such a lovable doofus, and it's so hard not to root for him. And I think Egg is just such an excellent little brilliant silly, magical whimsy, just like the perfect foil to Sir Duncan. This episode in particular, like as a big lore whore, I loved seeing. I appreciate that they don't feel the need to say everybody's names, and you just see the sigils and the different houses, and so like if you're a super nerd, you're able to appreciate the brilliance of like, oh, House Tully eating the head off of a fish and then throwing it is wonderful because, you know, they're the Lord Paramounts of the Riverlands. And then it was sort of, I think, the ultimate differentiator between the Hedge Knight or A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms and Game of Thrones. When we hear a Tully say by the old gods and the new, it is a very distraught Catelyn Stark during the Red Wedding, begging. And meanwhile, this guy's like, by the old gods and the new, boop. And that juxtaposition, like the fact that future Tully came to mind in that horrific scene, I'm like, this show is so much lighter and fun. And I love, there's just like, they're exploring this world in such a fun way, even Egg being like, you Blackfire bastards. I mean, it's such a wonderful thing. And I have to say, something I was most excited about in this episode was the creation of the sigil and the story behind that. You know, I tried to do myself yesterday or whenever we watched the last episode, you know, when we saw the shooting star come down, because it's just such a special thing. And if you're rewatching Game of Thrones, keep an eye out, because Brienne of Tarth stumbles upon that shield sigil in the show.
I don't remember that at all.
It's there by the blink of an eye.
I don't
and
remember most of Game
all
of Thrones.
done. Yeah, I think about it all the time.
Dude, rewatch.
But what did you guys think?
What are you, John? How you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm continuing to. I feel very similarly to Michael, but with all the less like knowledge of the lore. Obviously, like this, you know. This is more my flavor of show, and I am also kind of marveled at the way in which they are willing to create something like this that feels also kind of a different tradition of stuff. Like in British telly, I'm used to seeing more paid to going into time periods like this and putting the resources into bringing them to life. And, you know, doing that here in a way that certainly gives you a certain level of carnage and action. There's a joust, and that scene is really intense, and it feels like you're one of the people running around in the chaos half of the time, and you're really plugged into how the crowd is. Like, it's got spectacle, and it's got the irreverence that a show, you know, some other show of an older tradition might not have, but also it has some of the cozy tones, and it has just a lovely way of, like, I like stuff like this because it helps make all the other things of the greater, more, you know, momentous pieces feel part of a more living, breathing world. You know, like it adds light to the map, and it just makes it feel like an alive place where, yeah, there are people who are not concerned with the literal state crafting and all that stuff, who are just trying to make it by. And yeah, I love the performance of Sir Duncan so far, and especially seeing him play off Egg that much more this episode was really fun, getting to know what their dynamic will be, wondering what the deal with Egg is, just, you know, who is this, you know, mysterious lad. But
do you have any predictions?
It's got to be important somehow. It's got to be someone's house. I don't know, you know, take your roulette wheel. I guess anytime someone is notably bald, I'm like, are you hiding blonde hair under there? But I mean, it could be anybody, you know, and I like kind of not having a great idea of that.
I like
now.
that Jon is Ned Stark in season 1, being like, I have to figure out, is Joffrey a bastard or not? Opens book. Blonde hair, blonde hair, blonde hair. Oh my God, we figured it out. He's a bastard. That's Jon's logic in trying to figure out who is Egg.
Yes.
He could just be a kid.
He could just be a kid, and I'm excited for, I like that. I don't care if he's anything important.
Yeah.
I'm happy that he could just be a kid. I know that this is the kind of universe where he could probably be somebody important, but at the same time, I like that it's just the right amount of cozy and just the right amount of thronesy, you know. How are you feeling, G?
I feel like it's a really fun show. It's a really great characterization. I like what they've done with Dunk because I think they lean much more into the sensitivity of this guy. Like there was the horse scene that was the most telling to me because I remember the horse scene being like a moment where it was a disconnect for me when I was like, well, that definitely wouldn't be me. And that tells me something about this character.
It's very transactional.
Yeah. That's the exact word for it, you know, and for him to have, because I think in the book he actually shows up with like 3 horses or something. And I think he brings in, it's been a while. Yeah. And he exchanges, he sells 1, but it is just a transaction. And to take the riding, put it down to just 1 horse, make it a personal sell, put the weight of it, even him talking to the horse about possibly buying him back. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly the characterization they've done differently for him to make him more soft. But what I love too is the inverse, where I thought during the jousting scene, because as cool as the jousting stuff looked, and there was some stuff that was definitely like CGI'd, but I was like appreciative of the CGI because it's at night, they were able to mask it pretty well. Yeah.
It's one of the rare times I wasn't really thinking about it at all.
There's only one shot.
The movement, I think, really helped with that.
Yeah.
There was one shot where it looked CGI, and I was like, I don't care. It looked good. Yeah.
It's still better than Jon Snow's rubber sword during the Battle of the Bastards. Yeah.
Well, there was like it was a shot where I think it's when he's like getting back up on the horse, or it doesn't really matter. Like it was well done. It's like it looks cool. Remember that shot in like the 2 Towers when Legolas gets on the horse in that like weird way. I don't know if you guys remember that shot.
Yeah,
it looks like they reversed the frame or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what they.
And that's a little bit what I was thinking about here. I was like, whoa, that looks cool though. But that scene was to show the fear as well of what Dunk was going through, and I like the interpretation because to me it was reading as like a panic attack that he was having going in there, and I love how instead of him ending on the note of I don't know if I can do this, I'm scared, he uses it to, you see the way of how he's become who he is because he finds a strength. He's like, I'm going to honor this, and now I have a mountain to climb, and I'm on a mission. You know, like they lean into the fact that he's like super tall as a thing to make fun of him about. Like, it's a thing they call out a lot in the material, but it's never in this world of the show. It's never used as a way to intimidate. You know, it's just a way to make fun of him and bring him down. And so I love how they're slowly letting him morph into like tough moments, like with the tug of war. And then like at that very end to have the monologue and show the moment where most stories would be like he's just panicking, we're going to end on the fearful note, but instead to end on the note that he's going to do legacy. You want to say
it's interesting because I interpreted that entirely differently.
Which moment?
The perceived panic attack.
And like when he was...
So when he was watching the joust...
He was
like,
aroused.
I think when he had those visions, I think what he was most scared of, what was creating the anxiety, is the thought that his entire existence and legacy is going to end up in the mud on a road. And
I felt like that was, and I think we're on the same page.
No, we're having a fight. We're fighting right now, Greg.
Yeah,
I'm just a bad listener.
I mean, that extra layer to that. Yes.
I don't think the fear itself of the joust, I don't think that's what made him anxious. I think it was more what my life will be if I don't give myself this opportunity. And even more so, I mean, sure, this guy has spent the majority of his life sort of living in real time, seeing that his mentor, his only family, is by and large, by societal standards, a failure, but at least he was a good person that, gave back when he could and tried and, but realizing that this person that was so important to you in the end amounts to a level of nothingness in this society that is all about status and legacy. I think that's such a beautiful sort of thing for him to have to contend with, because it forces him to not just do it for himself, but also do it so that this person that he loves, it's like, when they talk about like there's the first time you die where you physically die, and the second time you die is the last time anybody ever says your name.
Yeah.
He is on a quest to make sure that that his master doesn't have a second death. And I think that's beautiful.
And I like that as a wraparound throughout the episode, getting these. I like the motif these first 2 episodes have had where you're cutting to him in these little brief moments, which utilizes a particular kind of humor that's very now in a subtle way, the cutaway. But and sometimes they're very silly, but sometimes they're very sort of thoughtful. And yeah, as you know, this contemplation of my whole. Everything I know came from this guy, and this guy's, you know, perceived status I'm learning to be sort of disillusioned about, but also wanting to do it justice is, a nice nuance.
Well, it's also the looking past the initial perception of how someone comes across, you know, like when you look at Ser Arlen, there's a lot of things where you wouldn't suspect this guy to be an honorable hedge knight. You know, he seems like disgusting, but he's actually got like a really great heart. And then with Duncan, people make fun of him all the time, call him stupid. And then you have even Egg here, who is talking about his shortcoming of literally being like too short to rise to the status he wants to be. And it's a lot. And then to your point too, you know, like I was actually hearing something about it briefly today of how like, kind of counter. It's not a counter to what you're saying, but it kind of is like
we're fighting
against. It's what I love about with the depiction of this show. So he wants to like honor the legacy. It's a much more personal type of legacy he wishes to honor, because fame and popularity and all that, that's also like fleeting. Like, you know, and like, you know, even like the most famous people now in this world now, like the most famous people you can think of, in like 30 to 50 years, they're gone. Most people won't even know their name. You know, like. People think of anyone now like Ryan Reynolds, even. Like, I bet you in like 50 to 60 years from now, there's going to be so many people like, who's that?
People are going to be like, the creator of Mint Mobile.
I like classic films like Red Notice.
But my point with that is, like, I like seeing just
Ryan Reynolds. If you hear this, we're so sorry.
Such a way to single you out. I mean all famous
stuff.
people.
All right, Barry's great,
but like the whole idea of like in this world that is often depicted in Game of Thrones is often depicted as a very cruel world. Yeah. And he's surrounded by cruelty here, but you get these doses of surprise niceness, you know, of like the blacksmith and just his entire mission here at hand of this one guy who's entered the tourney, and he wants to honor his master. People look down upon it, didn't even like bother to bat an eye or remember who this guy was, even though he fought some really important, significant fights.
I think that's the brilliance of, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that George R.R. Martin sort of had this in mind when he picked this time period. Do you know, like, other than having read the books, do you know any of these other Targaryens, Baratheons, or like all these noble houses, noble names? These people are all just like, I never fucking heard of them. And I think it's sort of a very clever thing because, you know, we all know Daenerys. We all know.
That's why all the Targaryens are named Aegon.
Yeah. No, for real. You're more likely to remember.
Aegon, Daemon, Daron,
Laegon, Chaegon, Braegon,
Rhaegar. But the
Aron.
I think the brilliance of this is that even though in this moment they seem so powerful and they seem so influential, we have the benefit as an audience of having a glimpse at the future and realizing that nobody remembers them either. And that's sort of I think a very beautiful, you know, which is why I appreciate that in Game of Thrones there is that little slight ode to Sir Duncan the Tall. Spoiler alert, John, by the time of Game of Thrones, Sir Duncan the Tall is dead.
Wow. Yeah. He doesn't live to be 130 years old or whatever.
No, I only think there's one character in this that is also in Game of Thrones.
Oh, fascinating. Well, I'll be on the lookout. You know what I like? You know what I like? This is my last thought.
I know what you mean now.
All right, I'm going to be on the lookout.
I'm gonna be on the lookout. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It'll be a fun character, I'm guessing.
Fun. It's just weirdly enough, Hodar's just there.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, he's holding the door for the Lords as they. Can we really quickly? I just want to say I absolutely loved the Hand of the King, and I loved the juxtaposition of those characters. I love seeing the tension And it's nice because I feel like we're not going to spend too much time there, but just enough to be like, oh, it feels right.
Well, I forget everyone's names.
That's okay. Me too.
The hand, that's why I feel like a Targaryen or something.
Brother Targaryen.
Amen. Amen.
Not gonna be the king Targaryen.
But the hand of the king, who was really nice to Dunk. What's cool is he was so nice, but the world of Game of Thrones has programmed you to be like, but what's this guy's real?
Well, his real angle is the more leverage and names he remembers, the more efficiently evil of a hand of the king he can be. I mean, you have Tywin Lannister. There's like no shortage of really bad hands, but I've always found that role to be so interesting because, like, sure, there's the king, but the hand is the one that really controls.
I mean, what'd you think of him though, John? Did you find him like sincere? Or do you feel like there's a something malicious up here?
That's one thing I like. Why do you said that thing about like, okay, well, what's this guy's deal though? What's his angle? Is he going to come back and be some kind of snake? You know, he's the key to getting Duncan into the tourney at this point. But you know, and one thing that's been fun about this show so far is every time. And especially watching romance lately, too. We've been in this mode where, like, every time I'm like, oh, God, some terrible is lurking around the corner. Usually, actually, in this show, it turns into something thoughtful or something wholesome. And because Game of Thrones has that all the time, that's sort of like tragedy could strike at any moment, horrifically.
Well, I think the interesting thing is he's in that position, right, of he has nothing to lose. Like, worst case scenario, Duncan dies during the tournament. Yeah. Doesn't mean anything to him. Yeah. Best case scenario, Duncan wins and is now forever indebted to him for being the one that got him in the first place. And I don't think there's necessarily like, yeah, it's nice, but his intentions always have, by virtue of the position that he's in, he's always factoring in, how can I leverage this? Yeah. It's also not so subtly implied that, you know, there's some tension within the house,
sure.
You know, and
always
like not to get in the weeds, but like I appreciate that Blackfire Rebellion's come up now in both episodes, but like being a darker haired Targaryen is not a good thing for a Targaryen that wants to be in power.
Sure.
Sort of the visual of, oh, you're not, you know. So anyhow.
All right. That's our thoughts, guys. What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments below. Are you enjoying this show?
I really hope they are. Please enjoy the show. If you feel like it, I don't want to tell you how to feel.
Please clap.
We'll find out. Well, thank you guys for being here. Thanks, Michael, for bringing your A game. Thanks, John, for bringing your
heart game.
Egg
my
game.
A-gun game.
Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you all very soon. Peace.